Welcome to Brobench release recap to version 4.9 Jupyter. As we've been, following the space theme, various code names for our releases, and this is the 10th release of the 4 series, starting from 4.0, and we are naming that as a 10th letter of the alphabet, Jupyter. So Jupyter is our 5th planet from the Sun in our solar system, and it is a massive planet. Majority of 99.9% of the whole the mass of the solar system is residing only in the Sun and the Jupyter. So everybody else, including Earth, is just a change compared to those two. So it is a very interesting planet. It has a lot of fascinating facts. Can you believe it has 95 moons? And there is a red spot, the Grand Giant Storm that is going on for more than 400 years. It's called Great Red Spot. So go check it out about Jupyter. It's a good time to think about our celestial object. Okay, with that said, we're ready for the release, and we have some not that many features, but we have a lot of important enhancements in the modules added in this version. Okay, so let's go get going. Okay, so first up, we have a role manager. So this is the new module, very capable module that we are introducing as part of the Enterprise Edition that allows you to visualize your org roles, visualize the users that have been assigned, visualize the hierarchy, make changes, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And as well as, export this in a beautiful way. For example, so you can go here and then you can, collapse, expand, you can add users, you can add multiple users, you can create the whole hierarchy, if you will. You can move around, you can drag and drop the users here, you can move around the users, you can assign users here. It shows all the assigned, unassigned users assigned. You can assign them, and then you can move around the users, right? So we have a whole bunch of capabilities that you can make use of. Okay. And finally, you can export this particular hierarchy in a beautiful way. For example, I can go here and say copy the whole hierarchy as tree. I'm just going to paste it here so that you can see how that looks like. Okay, so we can see it here. So it copies the whole hierarchy in a beautiful way that you can share, and then that you can use it to document it, and as well as the backup. If you want to see what the hierarchy was, before you make change, you would have that there. Okay. So go check it out, the role manager feature. You guys gonna love that feature. Next step, so we have capability to bulk download and upload files. For example, let's say you're querying some account, and then you have the files. You can right click and say view, download and upload files. It shows all the files for that particular account or the record. You can also select multiple records and then say download and upload files, and it shows the files from all the accounts right here. Okay, so you can download all of them at once. For example, you can say download all the files. You can select 10 records, and there's 100 files within the 10 records. With a one click of a button, you have all of the file downloaded there. Okay, it does have other capability. For example, the previewing the multiple files and just downloading the few files that you're looking for, as well as delete the files, unlink. So the whole file management has been significantly enhanced and introduced in this version. And if you select a single record, you can also upload multiple files. For example, you can here, and then you can upload as a both content as well as an attachment, right? Which is something that you cannot do in the UI, and it is important for many times, say for testing or other reasons. Okay, so go check out how to do the bulk download and the uploads in this one. Okay, next up we have an export query. We have Brobench has a great way to export the data. For example, you can query data, you can fetch all the details, and then you can right click, and then you can export to all the other formats, whatever the formats that you're looking for. However, if you have talking about a lot of records, let's say you have 100,000 records or 500,000 records that you want to download, it can take some time because you have to download all the batches, and then we have to load all the batches into the grid, and then you have to come back and say yes, export them. So now you can simplify all of that with a single click. For example, you can say here and say export, and then it will run the query. it will automatically export all the records as a CSV as a default action. However, you can also go and then, for example, it downloaded. You can also go click on these export options. It brings a ton of other capability. For example, you can select the different API type. Let's say query, if you are querying 500,000 records, maybe querying the bulk may be easier, not via the batch. So you can select API type. You can select the format. You can export to G Sheet. You can select different connection for the G Sheet. Or you can also export the bulk job results. Let's say you have a bulk integration and you want to see what data that the bulk query matched, right? So you can, and there are multiple. It's not that straightforward to visualize that. You can export all of them as a CSV, for example, or a G Sheet, and then you can see that. Or it can also export all the results of an ingest job. So primarily it supports v2 at this time. So, but let's say you have a job that inserts, update, or deletes, whatever. You can download all the results of that. For example, failed, successful, as well as the unprocessed records. So you can do whatever that you want to do with it. So we have some other small enhancements, and then we have tweaked the coloring scheme of the editor. So now actually more things are highlighted a little bit better. For example, the operators highlighted a little bit differently than numbers, and then if it has a wildcard field or the variables and all that. So and similarly, those changes are made in the dark theme. Of course, similar changes in the dark theme, so that you can identify the structure of the queries better. Okay. So yeah, this wraps up our 4.9, and I hope you guys like these features. Thank you.